Hello. Trying to avoid you seeing the halo behind me. Apologies, I should have set that up better. Hi to anybody that joins us at a later stage. I did a quick survey of people and I asked what time was good for coming on live, and quite a few said, I'll catch it later. So I was thinking I probably need to start talking and saying something interesting, but I really miss having people to give me some questions and chat to me. So I'm hoping that a few people join me today. As some of you know, it's been a bit of a strange week. What happens when you create something that has Ren's name on it is that you attract a lot of the Ren fans, which is amazing. But if you've been having, I don't know, 10, 20 views, I think I had maximum 700 views for one video. If that's your history on YouTube, then it can be quite overwhelming. And it's in a good way, but it's still overwhelming. I'm still reading all the comments, do my best to respond to all of the comments, and still trying to figure out where I go next. I'm still doing my daily videos. Some people seem to be a bit confused about the daily videos. I'm on day 113 today of doing a short video. This was because I wasn't turning the camera on. I kept saying that I wanted to do a YouTube channel. I kept saying I wanted to create and do videos, but I was way too scared and I was procrastinating. I was giving lots of reasons for not turning the camera on. So although I'm on day 113, and I've made other videos now, and you may look at me and think, of course she finds it easy to turn the camera on. I'm still hesitating, and I have found that doing the daily 1.5 minute videos keeps me honest about what am I doing today, or what have I done today towards having this YouTube channel, building this particular skill for some point in the future, whatever I want to do and speak about and do. Anyway, I can see a couple of people have joined. Hi, love to know in in the comments if you've got any questions. Just say hello. Be lovely to see whether you've come here deliberately. If you just kind of accidentally found yourself here, that's fine. But I was just explaining. I do these daily videos, and I'm I feel like I'm doing as a diary what my journey is as figuring out a creator. But in the back of my mind, I am thinking what would be useful to hear if somebody was hesitating about creating, especially if they were putting their work out publicly, and putting on the internet just felt that bit too public. Then they could hear what I was hesitating about and what I was struggling about. And I thought that might be useful because I didn't, well, I don't have friends that I talk about this kind of thing with. I don't know people that are super successful as YouTubers or creators, and I don't know people that are starting off, and I definitely don't know anybody who says they aspires to do it or would like to do it. My friend circle have jobs, normal jobs. So what I'm doing always seems quite weird, and when they see on Facebook that I've done a little video, they just say, "Oh, how brave you are." And I could never do that. And I was thinking, I don't really know why I'm called to do this either. It isn't, it doesn't feel like ego. It doesn't feel like I want everybody to see and hear me. It feels like I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be in this place. I'm supposed to be creating this. And right this second, I feel like now is the time for me to be building those skills and maybe making connections with other people. That'd be really nice too. But I think what's happened is some people are watching me and they've not realized that I see this as a time for me to build skills. I think they've seen it as this is it. This is me super confident. I'm turning up and everybody should listen to me. And I should, if I click my fingers, everybody should be a fan. as I say, I think there's a disconnect with that, and I don't know quite how best to move forward with that. But anyway, I can see that Sandra is here. Hi, I recognize your picture from the comments. Thank you. Hi, Joanne. I hope you're keeping well. I am. I've been resting and chilling out today. I reached out to somebody I know who's helped me on projects in the past, and she's coming to help me tomorrow for a couple of hours. And I said to her, she said, "What's the project? What do you need me to do?" And I said, "I need you to listen to me, just kind of blah, 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 just." And I don't know what, I don't really know who's listening. I'm sorry, but my life is, yes, I have things that I want to create and I have this work things, but I also have a home life. And I'm finding it really hard switching between the two, of managing the home and doing all those things and thinking all of the to do things, and then having all the deadlines and the new to do things relating to work. And I said, what I could do with is somebody to just talk to or talk at and help me sort out the priorities, help me get a to do list. And if need be, and I've got to make a phone call or arrange an appointment, just do that for me. Just help me out, because I think at the moment I'm too much in my head and I need to get that out on paper. And it was funny because today I did a quick video earlier. I have been overthinking a lot this evening. And I thought to myself, what would I have done in the past? I wouldn't have jumped on a video. I'd have started, I wouldn't have been so in my head either. And some of you who've been following me on the channel will see that I share cartoons sometimes. I call it journaling with cartoons. And I thought, well, I haven't been drawing cartoons pretty much all week. I haven't been drawing any of the cartoons. And I thought I could do that. And so I was drawing some of the cartoons and they were weird. I I've shared one already on Instagram, but I was definitely thinking, this is a different side of me. This is not me drawing pictures of doors all the time. So clearly there's something going on in my unconscious that I'm trying to work out. So, does anybody have any questions? And I can answer them for you. I'm just trying to think. There's things that have come up in the comments that people have been bit confused about, and I'm happy to address those if the people here don't have any specific questions. One of them was, I mentioned that I have the diagnosis of CFS, chronic fatigue, and I specifically say I have the diagnosis. I don't know how to talk about it. I don't really feel comfortable saying I have this. I want to hold it loosely. I want to be able to let it go and the idea of getting better. And I've also, I'm aware of misdiagnoses and different things like that. But I think some people who watched that video and heard me mention CFS didn't realize that I had that. I have spoken about it in other videos, but obviously I don't mention it all the time. I'm trying to get on with other things, but part of getting comfortable on camera is, if I am more housebound, can I still have a fulfilling work life? What can I do? Because at the moment I'm not driving or walking about too much, but doing this. So Sandra was just saying the cartoons are really unique. Thank you. Yeah, the cartoons were my way of communicate. Well, they were my way of getting out of my own head to start with. But then when I shared them, they were my way of communicating to other people who I was. I noticed what I was doing more so than writing, and definitely not videos. I felt like if somebody wanted to work with me, I was like, if you want to get to know me, look at the cartoons. You will know from the cartoons ideas that I have. You'll get a feel for the kind of books I'm into, uh, everything. You'll just definitely get a feel for me straight away. And I didn't feel that the videos did that. The videos were very formal, me teaching something, not talking about myself. It's funny because in the comments, people have commented about me talking about myself, and um, and it's deliberate. that has been deliberate because I was way more comfortable teaching than sharing anything about myself. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to get more relaxed and comfortable and when I'm hitting record. So, it's funny that some people really don't like that. What can I say? It's funny that they watch the whole video and then they take time to write a comment, but they still don't like it. So, as you can tell, I'm feeling a little bit off balance. I think that's why I've been overthinking things tonight about what's happening. But it is very nice that a few people have joined me. I know that in the Ren fan world, there have been different videos shared, the awards ceremony, and then a behind the scenes. I did see the awards ceremony. I have not seen the behind the scenes video because I was wondering, should I see the original music first before I see the behind the scenes? I'm still figuring out. Some people have asked me to do reaction videos. I'm not sure that that's my thing. I did have a try of doing a reaction video to a song. I can't remember what it is. Bongo Bong or something like that. Bongo something. They said it's one of his early songs. The song was great. Me though, I kept looking at the camera. I was trying to watch the screen and get into it and relax and just enjoy the music and see what the reactions were. But every now and then I could feel myself that I was holding my breath. And then a few times I went to move a little bit like that as if I was going to dance. And then I'd look at the camera and then stop moving. And I thought, this is the worst reaction video ever. So I suspect that video won't see the light of day. Straight after that was when I did the reaction of the 1 million subs video. And that was easier. I am definitely a words girl. I like the words. So the speaking and having a particular message, it was easy to feel moved by that and everything was completely natural. And obviously I had a bit of a tech failure for that, but that was kind of funny. I thought that's okay to share that. So, and then Rebecca, hi Rebecca, says, "Hey, love that you posted Beautiful Day by Beans." Yep, that was one of the recommendations. I have about 20 million tabs open at the moment with all the recommendations people have said to me. The only thing is that some people have said to me they want me to see the earlier work of Ren and other bits of content from Ren. And so some of the reactors that they've recommended, I'm holding off because I was thinking, I think I need to see Ren's version first and see what my first reaction is and my first interpretation of it, and then go watch the reaction videos. So I am definitely interested in the recommendations that you have. The Beautiful Day was very sweet. Very sweet. So is Darren. Hi, Darren. I'm the king of bongo, baby. Such a great tune. Yeah, it took me by surprise. Everybody was saying it's one of the earlier songs, and I knew that he did a lot of different styles of music. It did take me by surprise. But I think again, I was way too much in my head, and I don't know whether you ever felt this, that you feel your breathing gets really high in your body, and I was super aware that I'd got a camera on me. I am thinking, I wonder whether people have done reaction videos to the Bongo Bong, because I was thinking, if I watch a reaction video, sometimes you learn something more, and I thought, I suspect with that song in particular, it's not just me, like Hi Ren, reacting to the drama and having that real powerful reaction. I think I would benefit from having some sort of behind the scenes information or knowing a little bit about the music or how it was created. I think that could really help me. Sometimes if I go to an art gallery, so I'm just trying to see if this moves. I've been to art galleries on my own. That's fine. I kind of whiz around. And then if I go with a friend of mine who studied English, and He points things out in the paintings that I would never have noticed, and it's way more interesting in the stories behind it all. So I am wondering, am I is it really the reaction video? Is it that I don't know whether am I being lazy? Is it just that I can't pick up on things and I'm needing the reactors to give me the language and point things out for me? I don't know. I know when I first watched Iran and the Cujo song, I knew I'd been hit by something. I knew I'd witnessed something. And so I went down the rabbit hole. But I do wonder sometimes if I need that little bit of help. I've spent a lot of my life feeling that I was misunderstood and also that I was misunderstanding others. And I think there's something about the reaction videos that you see the emotion and the reaction, and then they clarify it with language. And that for me, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like the double hit for me. It's like, oh, I can see that emotion and I had that emotion. And then they clarify it and confirm it. And I know that I was right. And it's like, oh, yeah, I didn't misunderstand that time. So there you go. Anyway, I digress. Rebecca, there's a posse of us going to see him in Glastonbury on 13th of December. Wow. I've never done the whole Glastonbury type of thing. Then Rebecca says, Ren's earlier song, 1990s, is a funny and accurate portrait of being a kid mum in the 90s. Very funny, as all my boys were born in the 90s and I was that mama. Okay, so that's called 1990s. I'll make a note of that. I was wondering about humor and stuff. In fact, I was wondering about quite a lot of things, and I thought if people show up, I might try and pick your brains about things because it's quite clear that it's more than simply the music. From the comments that I've seen, it seems to be more than the music. It seems to be that there's ideas behind and there's a value system behind that a lot of the people that have commented seem to connect to and respond to. So I was like, oh, okay. Let me throw it out there because you're still doing the comment. I know I need to read the comments, but I mentioned Jordan Peterson before, and I was wondering, has Ren ever mentioned him? Is that only because some of the ideas that were articulated, and I was thinking, oh, I wonder whether that is an influence on him. Anyway, where am I going? Darren, I've certainly watched some reactions to it. I was never into reaction videos until watching Hyran reactions tune me into them. Now I enjoy seeing the different lenses through which people react. Yeah. I don't go around watching all of the reaction videos. And I must admit, they seem to be coming up in my feed a lot more now because of everything that's happened. Um, I'm not sure quite where I'm going with the whole reaction video universe because although I did a video and I said I'm obsessed with it and I kind of joked about it, it's it's a fun feeling, but it's a not fun part of it is not fun because I needed to go to bed and I was watching this, just one more video, just one more video, just one more. And it is fun, but I did also feel like a bit crazy making. And I thought you need to walk away from this. So anyway, Darren, even as a Gen X, I got the feels for the 1990s song. Okay. Rebecca was saying, come to Glastonbury. No. No, I can't see that that would be my scene. I cannot imagine crowds and people. No. Oh, dear me. Magdalena. Hello, I'm a 46-year-old girl from Germany. I do not comment a lot because my English is not perfect. I wanted you to know you're a beautiful soul. You're the kind of person I like to have a cup of. And then further down it says tea with. Thank you, Magdalena. And I understand your English fine, so that was very nice, Rebecca. It's in a pub. 18.50 a ticket. Oh, right. Okay. I don't know why. As soon as I saw Glastonbury, I thought, okay, huge thing. Let me just think. Where in the country is Glastonbury? I'm just trying to think where Glastonbury is. I've been to Glastonbury. My dad lives in Dorset, and I'm up in the Midlands, and I'm pretty sure I went via Glastonbury. Am I getting my directions wrong? I don't know. As I say, although you're talking about traveling, I can get about. I would need my husband to drive. I'm not driving. I'm not really walking and doing different things at the moment. Magdalena T. Rebecca. I see Ren as the antithesis of Jordan Peterson. Okay. Has he ever mentioned him? Does he even? Is that completely private? Does he talk about his influences, or is it just musical influences? That's what I was kind of wondering about. Because there seems to be some philosophy and value system going on. And in particular, Jordan Peterson talks about the story with the dragon, about the dragon guarding the gold. And the place where you fear to go is where you need to go. That's where your treasure is. And I don't know why that related to somehow being ill and the journey that he had to go on that path. Right. I might be reading too much into that. Darren says, once you watch some, the YouTube algorithm will presume that's what you want to see more of. That's how I got turned vegan. Okay. So Eddie's saying Somerset for Glastonbury. Yeah, I have a feeling I went through Glastonbury to get to where my dad lives. Rebecca says, we needed another example of what being a human man with diversity and emotional authenticity. I think it's interesting that people are interpreting. As I say, I'm not so deep into Ren World. I don't know whether he's been explicit about a lot of these things. I don't know whether they're interpreting from the music that I've seen. I know that he's shared in the chapters his story, but that's more of what I know about him than the music and what he's said, or I don't know, lives that he's done. So I saw the Instagram thing about his toe. But so, and I knew a lot of people were saying about him having a sense of humor. But as I say, I don't know whether that's something whether he feels that he expresses himself in the music and with the videos and keeps his expression to that. So Paul saying, evening all, evening, Rebecca. Not role models for our next generations of men fathers. I'm not sure what your comment relates to because I've waffled on a little bit, Rebecca. Sorry. Hi to anybody that's come along a little bit later. I was just saying, I feel because I'm so new to the Ren universe, I wasn't sure whether we're interpreting his values and his belief system, or whether he had been explicit. I think this whole rising tide, thing, he's been explicit and said, yeah, I'm fine for other people to comment on the videos. I'm fine for people to use the videos in their reaction videos. So I think he's been explicit about that, but I don't know about the other things. Ed says, I think he is clearly a polymath. Now, I have a feeling, I've seen a few things about multiple instruments and different things, and he clearly seems to be interested in performance and obviously from the video side of things. So, and say Rebecca's saying who? Rebecca, I don't think I'm quite following whether you're talking to me or I don't know. Magdalena, Joanne, did you watch the 8 chapters him about talking about his life? I thought I did. It's possible I've missed a chapter because somebody was saying something about this, and I thought, I'm not sure whether I missed a chapter. But as I say, it, I was watching these reaction videos from his songs, but it felt like just a weird secret thing that I was doing, and that I was a one-off doing that. I was completely oblivious to the whole reaction video scene. I had seen I had seen sort of the flashy thumbnails talking about reaction videos, and so I knew that they existed, but I hadn't appreciated there was, like, millions of followers watching reaction videos. I suppose I thought these people who were doing the reaction videos would have their fans, and they just happen to have a huge channel of fans for them reacting. I never thought that people would bounce from one reaction video to another, especially following one particular artist. I didn't realize what I was doing was a thing. So it's been quite interesting to see that I made the video. I said I was obsessed by them. And as I say, I kind of joked about it. I felt a bit uncomfortable. But in the comments, even now, it's like, yeah, me too. I thought I was the only person too. But I think some of these people like Sandra and people who've popped up in the comments before, I think you had already found each other. I think you were probably already on the Facebook groups and knew that going because people talk about the Ren rabbit hole. And it seems to be that everybody besides me knew about this. Anyway, so Ed is saying Ren, so you're talking about Ren. Yeah. I think what I was confused with, Rebecca, you said not role models for our next generation. So I'm guessing you're talking about Jordan not being a role model, but Ren being a role model. So that's where I was getting a bit confused. Okay. Rebecca, I think the explicit ethos of Ren is simple: be kind, don't hurt people. Yeah. I think for me is that I'm kind of a words person, and I find the statement of be kind or don't hurt people inspirational, but I don't always get it in terms of what does that mean that I do? What does that mean in terms of this internal conversation that I have going on in my head? And that's why some of the music was, oh, when you're fighting between those two voices, then you can experience this, or so for me to give more language to it and to give a little bit more of an example to it, that's exactly what I like. That's what I like. Okay, he's obviously well read. This is Ed. He's obviously well read and a cinephile. He has so many layered references: Orwell, Animal Farm, Clockwork Orange. Yeah, I was wondering about the videos because he seems to be, I don't know whether it's a team that he's with. I think there's somebody called Sam that people have mentioned, but it seems to be something that he wants to play with and experiment with. So that's good. Rebecca saying, I have to sleep, loving what she writes. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. And night. Sandra was saying, the interview of Ren by Justin Hawkins is very good if you did want to learn a bit more about Ren and what drives his music art. Thank you. Justin is fairly new to my world as well. I'd seen him because of the reaction videos, but I really didn't know much about him as a musician. As I say, I don't know if I've been living under a rock or something. I've said this in the comments. I was completely disconnected from music. I don't know what happened. Life stuff, really. I've getting older, obviously getting married, but I moved and lived in different countries, and so friends move and swap, and in terms of music, I wasn't following one particular band or even a particular genre of music. I would, as I say, I was just I felt like I was getting on with life, but over the last year or so, I've realized how disconnected I've come from music, and I've deliberately got a radio now, and I thought, okay, let's just make it as easy as possible to start hearing music again. And that's why it's been so interesting when you give me the recommendations. It's like I don't know what exists anymore. I know a few pop culture what's the word? Pop culture references. I have a few references for the pop culture stuff, but a lot of the songs that I hear, I don't know the names of the groups. I remember being younger and having, I think there was family who were in the 40s, and I couldn't believe that they didn't know all the latest music. It's like, I'll never lose touch with the music, and then it happens, or it did for me. So, Darren, Justin Hawkins writes again. I don't know if that's a reference to something or whether you're just saying you're a fan. Darren, whenever I watch Justin Hawkins, it reminds me of listening to the radio on a rainy Sunday morning in the 80s. Yeah. It's got a very relaxing voice. I liked it. I did like his reaction videos. As I said, I didn't watch the interview, but it was kind of on my list to do. I did see that he'd done an interview. In fact, I saw a couple of different interviews pop up. Um, but I suppose I was feeling a little bit like I needed to save myself and have a moment to sit down and watch them and not be distracted. Because this week is just my head has been swimming a bit this week. So Darren was saying it's the opening jingle he does at the start of his streams. I'll pay more attention next time. I don't think I noticed that. Ed says, for me, there is a big social commentary in his rap work. I think he has hit a nerve about society and how the financial benefit is channeled to a smaller and smaller percentage of the population. Okay. It's funny because I mentioned earlier about this story of the dragon in mythology, about the dragon having the gold. And in my cartoons that I was doing, I was questioning whether I was going after the gold, whether I was being I don't know. I think that I've struggled a bit with the idea of if I do you've asked me to do reaction videos, but if I do that, does that feel like I'm taking advantage of Ren's name and his popularity? And I know some people have said about, he's fine with that. We should spread the name. Um, I've struggled a little bit with that, and in the cartoons, I was drawing a picture of, do I want the gold? The gold is symbolic not just of wealth, but of what you most desire, and the dragon is what you most fear. So to get to what you most desire, you have to go past what you most fear. And as I was drawing, I did this picture of a dragon. It's bad. You've seen my cartoons. It's stick people type of thing. And in this, I draw myself and I'm saying, do I want the gold? And what's interesting relating to your comment, Ed, is that I said in the next one, I said, I want the gold. And then the picture that I drew of myself, I gave my face a really weird expression, and it was kind of monster-like. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Because as I say, the gold is supposed to be symbolic of what you most desire. And am I subconsciously thinking that I'm a bad person for desiring for what I desire or some sort of success? I feel like I've just gone off on a tangent for you guys. It's all, I don't know, metaphorical speaking. I hear the argument about society and about financial. I feel and about being it smaller and smaller, I feel a little conflicted because I don't want to think of money as bad. Does that make sense? I want to think of money as a tool. Oh, Ed B. His philosophy of rising tide implies he's happy for reactions to his work as it benefits him as well as the actor in a holistic way. Yeah. Sandra's saying, nice to chat and need to leave. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And I had recognized your little picture as well, so that's really nice. I've seen you in the comments. Thank you. Yeah. So Ed was saying about philosophy of rising tide. I've done a couple of videos on the rising tide. I like the expression. I wonder what it means for me in practice, besides the whole I can do a reaction video and he's fine with that. As I say, it's because I like words. I like it when I get that sense of everything lining up inside of me and that I understand something. So I want to understand it more. I want to understand not just on an aspirational level of treat everybody kindly. What does that mean for me? How does that impact my choices on a day? And in terms of creating, how am I staying true to myself, but also still learning and also listening to people's feedback about what they want from me? So hang on, I think I've missed a couple. Darren, if I was YouTubing or streaming, what I'd want is for people to say they like what I do. I wouldn't be in it for financial gain, but I have need to be seen and liked. Yeah, I was thinking about the seen, and typically people say seen and heard, and that's something that I've written about before. And I was wondering about the word known today, is because I'm going to digress again. I know there's only a few of you here. I'm sorry to do this. My husband has got into the hobby recently of painting little soldiers. And today he's been painting all of his tanks. And we were kind of making fun of him for it with love. And I was thinking it's not so much about being seen and heard, it's just that we know him and we know he loves those things and we can share the things that we share with him. And it's kind of to know them, you need to have seen and heard them, don't you? And maybe in the know is being a slightly different level. I was thinking of myself as a creator. I was thinking, oh, yes, seen and heard, but it would be really great if you read something somewhere and you said, oh, yeah, that's a Joanne thing to say, or it's a Joanne, that's the kind of thing she likes to talk about. I was thinking, I think that's what I'm aiming for. And that's why it's concerned me about the whole Ren thing. It's I want to learn. I'm really curious about this world, but I still want to be known as me exploring the world, not me copying everybody else who does reaction videos. So that's why I've kind of taken a breath. So let me see. If you can hear clicky clacking noise, that's the dog walking around. Darren says, it's a lot of how autistic me relates or sees self-worth. Yeah, I don't have a formal diagnosis of autistic or ADHD, but if you hang around long enough, you're going to see loads of it probably. So, Darren, again, known is a great way of putting it, to be someone, even if that's in a relatively small group. Yeah. I tell you, my husband used to be in the RAF, and one of the things he misses, or he says he misses, is the banter and kind of the teasing between the guys. But obviously, to tease somebody, you need to know something about them. And more than that, you also need to know how far you're able to push it. It's quite I say an intimate relationship. Is that overstretching it? That kind of banter and joking is like, yeah, I see you, I know you, ugh, painting soldiers again, and you know, he I caught him and his brother playing with these toy soldiers once, and they were in the garage, and they were both in their 40s at the time, and they were going, "Pew, pew," and I just thought that was really sweet. But obviously, for me, that's banter, that's, "I know you, I love you, this is kind of fun." So, Nota band account. The algorithm told me to watch you. Hi, Nota. You gotta figure out, it's like a quiz of, "Why did the algorithm push me over here?" There's quite a few people who are Ren fans. Is that you? I did a video about watching Ren reaction videos, and I said I was a little bit obsessed, and I went down a rabbit hole, so I'm wondering whether the algorithm has revealed that, "Okay, you're a Ren fan. Hi." So, yeah. So do you watch the reaction videos? Because I'm not Ren, and I'm not rapping, and I'm not creating music or anything. I just admitted to everybody in a video that I was a bit obsessed with going down the Ren rabbit hole, and then it turns out several thousand also admitted that they did as well. And since then, I've been figuring out what I do with that information, and some people have been encouraging me some people have been a bad influence and saying, "You should watch more Ren and go down more rabbit holes." Um, and that's what I'm figuring out. I did a Ren reaction video, which some of you may have seen. I got the tech wrong, and I did like a teeny, teeny 5 pixel of my face up in the top right-hand corner. It was so small, I did a little yellow arrow to point where I was. So so anyway, so Ed has just made a comment. "It's Hal telling us what to do." I'm showing my age with that reference. Okay, well, I'm 52. I don't know that reference. It's Hal telling us what to do. I don't know the reference, sorry. Darren just said, "I just bought Violet's Tale on 12-inch purple vinyl, and I don't even have a record player." Yeah, I had a little look at Ren's shop the other day. Yeah, I had a little look at the Ren shop. I was quite surprised. I mean, I think a lot of it was sold out when I went to have a nose, but I was curious what he created. And also, are the designs are things like the vinyl and different things like that? Because I know there's a Ren art fan club on Facebook, and I've seen some of the things like that. But some of like the merchandise, is that another one of his interests that he wants to design it and create it, or is maybe he's just an additional voice and he has somebody do that? I don't know. So I'm not sure. Mm, Ed, 2001: A Space Odyssey, the computer that takes over. Okay. No, I'm not familiar with that one. Paul Walker, Arthur C. Clarke, A Space Odyssey. Oh, so everybody got it but me. Right, okay. Oh, dear me. Notaband got it. Oh, okay. So Nota saying, "I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that," was a reference to A Space Odyssey. Nota saying, "I'm putting myself to the fullest possible use, which is all I think that any conscious entity can ever hope to do." Okay. You're all revealing quite a lot. So now I'm learning about Ren fans that you like these other things as well. Space Odyssey. I've definitely noticed in the comments that some things and some subjects seem to come up, but I was interpreting that as similar values and similar goals in terms of society and different things like that. And I thought, well, this is quite interesting. He's clearly attracting a certain type of person. Darren saying, "Stanley Kubrick film rabbit hole for you next then." Oh my goodness. I really I like the behind the scenes stuff. I like it when you get the DVDs. and stuff. I just hesitated then. I thought if I said that wrong, are they no longer called DVDs? I'm still buying DVDs. I like the behind the scenes stuff, and they tell me about the thinking behind it. I was just watching a video today. I've been kind of studying about comedy and about the use of language for comedy, and I've been watching a podcast, watching it because it was on YouTube, by Mike Birbiglia. Don't know if you know him. And the podcast is called Working It Out. And he interviews different comedians. But you see, and they're talking about their process behind the show and how they got the material together. And then sometimes they talk about a specific joke or a specific part of a story and how it's not working with an audience. And I love that kind of conversation. I think that's why, in terms of the Ren world, it kind of threw up more questions than it answered, because I was like, well, who's the team and how does that work? And are they bouncing ideas off each other, or is Ren going away and is it a team thing? Is it where you bring things out? Because I thought of comedy as being a very individual pursuit of one comedian thinks about and writes the joke. But clearly from the podcast that I've seen, they're giving each other feedback and they're giving each other extra lines and suggesting different directions to take the material. And I never saw that as a cooperative type of creative pursuit. Okay. So there you go. Stanley Kubrick, film rabbit hole. I just keep feeling maybe the reaction videos are my home and place to go. Maybe I need that little bit of an explanation. Again, I don't know if this is gonna be an autism thing. Is this an autism thing about needing context? I think somebody said to me once about even simple questions, somebody who's autistic, I don't know if it's autistic or ADHD, and that they don't find what neurotypicals would say is an easy question easy, because they want context. They wanna know, "Why did you ask that, and what's the purpose?" and things like that. And I enjoy the films, but the real satisfaction is when I can, you know, really get to grips with it and understand, "Oh, they're referencing that other film, and oh, they're talking about this, and oh, the lighting does that, and it creates a shadow because of this reason, and then you interpret it that way." That's what I like. Okay, Eyes Wide Shut was too real, and people laughing, or smiley facey laughing emojis, the intelligent ones. Sounds autistic to me. Yeah. I remember as I say, I lived in different countries, but I was bounced back to the UK, and people would say to me, uh, "Where do you live?" or something like that. And it's supposed to be a simple question, but I would just find it really hard. And I was thinking, well, do they mean where am I living right now because I'm temporarily in this country? Or do they mean where do I live, Maine? And then I happened to be living in Myanmar at that time, when this is a hairdresser that asked me. And I thought, well, a lot of people don't know Myanmar. Some people call it Burma. And I'm having this whole conversation in my head. And I just think, you just answer the question, Joanne. She doesn't, she's just being polite and asking you questions about your life. But I made it a big whole thing in my head. Darren saying, but it's such a huge range of presentations that one autistic person is often nothing like the next. Yeah. It's interesting because I knew nothing about the autistic ADHD world, and yet I've been writing books about speaking and being misunderstood and teaching and talking about it for 20 years. And then I start learning more about that world, and I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense now." Yes. Darren was saying, "My kryptonite is someone asking, 'What did you think?' after watching a film,' or 'How's your food?'" Yeah. I th I s Sometimes I'm thinking, well, I'm thinking a lot of things. And I think what's interesting is when I try to do that reaction video with that bongy song. Sorry, I got the title wrong. When I tried to do the reaction, yes, I felt uncomfortable. Yes, I was super aware of the camera. So that might be one thing. But I think it was also that I was just having trouble processing all of it. And I do wonder what that means about me doing any kind of reaction videos. I wonder whether, in a way, I'd be better reacting to a reaction video, um, and what they tell me. I like things spelt out. I like them to explain. Yeah, I like them to be wordy about it. So, any other questions for me? So basically, what you guys are saying is that I need more of an education. I need to watch films, watch more reaction videos, watch interviews. Yeah. And don't ask Darren how's his food. Anyway, what time are we? 10:51. That sounds good. So anyway, it was to have a quick chat with you guys. I don't think I've got really anything more unless you've got any particular questions for me. You can tell I'm still figuring out what this means. Um, I've really enjoyed the comments. I've really enjoyed getting to know people I consider to be Ren's fans. I've really enjoyed getting to know them. And when I started the YouTube channel, what I wanted to do was find my people, as in people who shared similar interests and values to me. That was what I was trying to do. And I feel like I found people like that, and I want to keep talking to you. I just feel a little bit, it's like I feel like I don't want to pretend I know everything about Ren or something and just show up when I'm so outside of that world. Somebody was saying it's our world now and we can share and we can all enjoy it together. And I thought, well, that's very sweet. I just don't know. I still feel like you're the cool kids over there. You will know all of this. I thought I was just doing this weird thing, and then I really didn't know you existed as a group. I didn't know anything about it. I thought there was Ren fans, like I say, who were the cool kids that were into that kind of music. I did not know the reaction community stuff thing was going on. So, anyway, Magdalena. So Nota said, "Thank you." Magdalena says, "Have to leave. It's late. Wishing a wonderful night to all of you and to you. Thank you for coming." Ed says, "Do what makes you feel good. All your action is authentically people will watch." Thank you. Nota saying, "You seem like a genuinely kind person." Are you glad you popped up? The algorithm just suggested it. So maybe you could go see one of the other videos and see some. I did a reaction video. It's a bit of a tech failure, but it is funny. I shared it because I thought it was funny. And if you like it when somebody sort of cries through the reaction video, it's definitely one of those. Anyway, Ed was giving me thank you. Thank you for showing up and thank you for interacting and putting the questions. Anyway, I'll just do this one. Darren, in my opinion, if you're reacting to stuff, it's not about knowing anything about Ren. It's all about how it makes you feel and what you take from it. Any could be a first reaction and have the same merit. Yeah. Okay. But hopefully, Darren, hopefully I'll get the tech right and my face will be a little bit bigger than what I did the last time. I need to have my thinking brain on. I don't know if you know about CFS, but there's certain times of the day that I'm clearer thinking than others, and to figure out the tech, it's gotta be first thing in the morning. But thank you, and thank you for all the little emojis that are popping up now. That's very sweet of you, and we'll see you soon. Bye.